the zigzag weave is a very beautiful decorative weave in which each pair of weavers, in this case could be one weaver as well, goes back and forth between two stakes to create this zigzag. The traditional beginning is just like French Randing. We just insert our two weavers like this, insert the weavers all around, and then begin to proceed to kink this towards the left side. But I wish to try a different beginning because this regular beginning method has a flaw in it, in which is that the starting row doesn't look like the rest of the weave. So let's try something different here, and if it doesn't work, we'll continue with the we'll do the regular beginning. For this, the weavers have to be well prepared and very pliable. I think as a general rule, brown willow is better for this. Also, it helps if the stakes are thicker, because the thicker they are, the easier it is for the weavers to kind of twist and kind of squish upon them. So what we'll do here is we'll introduce the two weavers, in this case we're working with pairs, to the left of the stake, and then proceed to do something like this. Alright, just like this. This is a beginning that will look much better, but it's more difficult to do, and I hope it will work and nothing will break. Maybe before I begin, actually, I will go outside and get all of my weavers wet once again, and then I will begin, and I will try to do it as quickly as I can. Maybe it does make more sense to do it the other way around. I don't know. I began like this, so I'll continue like this. Obviously, I've prepared all of these cuts in advance, so that I will be able to do it as quickly as possible. Very important in this weave to hold the stakes in place while you weave, because otherwise they will move to the sides as you pull on them. Let's see, just as an experiment, if it would be easier to insert on the other side and do it like this. Perhaps it will, because this is my natural direction of weaving, so I think it will be easier. But I have started like this already. How many did I do? 4. I think I'm going to get them out, and I'm going to try to do it the other way. Let's see if they're not destroyed already. So take them down to the left and weave towards the right like this. Yeah, this is much better. This is much easier. I thought it would be easier to insert in the left, but it's not. it's better to insert on the right. This weave is usually done with two weavers because it looks better, but it could also be done with a single weaver. Holding the stake in position. It's very important to kind of squish the weavers against the stake as you are turning around, because this squishing is preventing them from breaking. Just moved this pair towards the inside so that I will be able to work around this stake here. Maybe I'll move this one as well. Oh God, don't break. Don't break. Alright, now let's bring these two. Alright, so we finish inserting. And as I said before, it's just the same if we would have inserted in the regular classic method. Alright, so now what we'll do, we'll take one of the weavers and go to the other side. Alright, taking the next one, squashing it against the stake and weaving to the other side. Let's try to hold the stakes in place as I do it. Oh no, I already have a break. I think this will not work in my case, but this is how it's done. Now that you finish one side, you just go to the next. I'm going to try and replace this one now, but if they're breaking so much, it probably wouldn't work. Alright, now we'll go to the right. So this is the end result. It was insanely difficult to make. The weavers kept breaking. Some broke off completely. Here I had 3 weavers that broke all throughout the way. As you can see, this one's broken here, 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 and this one as well. So what I did, 3 of them broke off completely here, so I just gonna place them like this. But then the problem with this is that it will only work kind of well if you continue the weave and the same weaver doesn't break anymore, because if it breaks here as well, then all you have is just this tiny piece, stick of willow that will fall. So it can work, this join, let's call it, but only if the weaver doesn't break anymore. So, as you've seen, this weave is quite simple in principle, though not necessarily very easy to execute. Now I want to talk just a little bit about what you can do with this weave, because this weave allows for some very interesting and very unusual color patterns and things that you can do with it. Before I begin, I just want to say once again that the weavers for this weave must be perfect. If the weavers are not of the right variety, of good quality, if they're not well prepared, this weave is not going to work, as we've come to learn in my demonstration. Generally speaking, brown willow is much better for this, as it doesn't dry as quickly and is less likely to break in hard turns. I have seen people do it with buff willow as well, and it worked well for them. First thing I want to say is that I've used 2 weavers for my demonstration, but it could also be done with 1 weaver. Even with flat material, flat reed can also work perfectly for this weave, and also it could be done with 3 weavers, even 4 weavers. And I think actually it might actually make more sense to use 3 or 4 weavers, because when you use 3 weavers, you can use shorter weavers to get the same height of section, and shorter weavers are also thinner and are less likely to break, and also the work is going to be easier. Also, when you use 3 weavers, you can do something interesting with the colors. Instead of just having white and brown like here, you can have white, brown, white, or the other way around, and it could make some very interesting color pattern. Next interesting thing that you can do is to use the same weavers for 2 different types of weaves. In our case, I'm talking about the zigzag weave. You can start a French Randing section or a variation of French Randing like I did here, and then switch to the zigzag weave mid-weaving, and then perhaps even come back to the French Randing or the variation that you did. So yeah, very, very cool thing to do. I have seen people do it. You can also begin a zigzag weave, and then instead of just trimming the weavers on the inside like I did, you can use the leftover length to weave, to proceed into French Randing once again, or do something like an Irish wailing or Irish pairing as I call it. You can trim one of the 2 if you're using pairs, and then use just the other one for some sort of Irish pair, and could be a really, really beautiful way to finish this section. Now let's talk about using colors in this weave, because as I said, this weave allows for some very interesting and unusual color patterns. So what I did is I took pairs of weavers. Each one of the 2 is in different color, and I really, really love that version. I think it's one of the most beautiful things that you can do with this weave. There are many things that I'll talk about that you can do with this weave, but sometimes I think less is more. So one cool thing that you can do is to begin one color here behind this stake, and then let's do like this, and then at the next stake you'll begin a different color, then once again the green color, like that, and then you'll have columns of different colors right next to each other. Really beautiful thing. You can also like do something like let's say green, red, green, and then again green, red, green. Could be a really cool thing to do, but for this the overall stake number should be a multiplication of 3. Otherwise it will not be perfect all the way around, which is also good, but if you want it to be perfect all the way, the overall stake should be a multiplication of 3. Another thing that you can do is to just erase that for a second. You could have all the basket in one color except from one column here in the middle. This would be a zigzag weave. And perhaps at the other side across from it. Very cool thing to do. You can do half the basket in one color and the other half in a different color. You can divide the basket into quarters. You can do all sorts of things. Why stop at 2 colors really? Why not use 3 colors? Why don't we have the entire basket in one color, and then we'll have something like that in the middle. We'll have 3 colors overall, but those 2 colors are right here in the middle. Yeah, so why stop at 2 colors? Why not use 3 colors even? Really, the possibilities here are endless. There's just so much that you can do with it. To get notified about new videos, make sure you subscribe to my mailing list. If you enjoyed this lesson and other lessons in my website, please consider making a donation and support my online school. Thank you for watching.